The 1985 Canada Summer Games, a presentation of Irving Oil Limited and Maritime Beverages Limited.
Good evening, everyone. Day 9 of the Canada Summer Games is now history. It has been a very historic day for New Brunswick. I'm Mike Nickson, with me, Harvey Urquhart. Harvey, another good day.
A great day. Lots of big performances from all the New Brunswick teams. One in particular, and I know you're going to tell us about that.
Okay, New Brunswick has captured its first gold medal in the Canada Games competition. Matter of fact, it is the first gold medal since 1977 in Summer Games competition for New Brunswick. The winning effort came at the Aquatic Centre in the men's 100-meter freestyle. The gold medalist was Tarek Raafat of St. John. CHSJ's Paul Martin was at the Aquatic Centre and joined with the capacity crowd as they cheered on the New Brunswick swimmer over the final 50 meters of his race.
Picking up New Brunswick's first gold medal of the Canada Summer Games in the 100-meter freestyle. Tarek, let's take it in a little bit of a sequence. Tell me how you felt exactly before the race.
Before the race, I was relaxed, just trying to get in my head what I wanted to do for my race, and I was ready to go for it.
How about the first 50 meters? How did it feel going through that time?
Well, the first half of that, it felt pretty good, but then my stroke shortened up a little because of nerves, I guess, and I was excited. And then I managed to hang on and finish the race the way I would have liked to.
Did you hear the crowd during those last few strokes?
Oh, I was oblivious to everything. I was just going for that wall.
When did you know that you had won the gold?
I had touched, I looked over a little, I knew it was close, so I looked up at the board and saw my late number up there, and I was just so happy.
And when they draped the New Brunswick flag over you, how did you feel at that point in time?
I was really, felt great. I was really happy.
Strangely enough, Tarek's gold medal performance was not his best race of the day. In the qualifying heats, Tarek set a new Canada Games record of 52.84 seconds, breaking the old mark by 13 100ths of a second. His time in the final was 3 100ths of a second slower than his record pace. And Tarek's gold medal wasn't the only good news for New Brunswick. Krista Burris of Sackville captured a silver in the 100-meter breaststroke. And we pick up that race as they approach the final 25 meters.
Krista Burris of Sackville, a silver medalist for New Brunswick in the 100-meter breaststroke. Krista, how do you feel?
Terrific. I feel fantastic. It's great. I'm really proud to be swimming for New Brunswick, and I'm proud of the silver medal. It would have been better, you know, I would have been happier to get the gold, and that's what I set out to do. But I have the 200 on Friday, and I'll be going out with a little bit more of a vengeance, I think, towards the 200.
Now, Krista, Tarek's race was just before yours, and he brought home a gold medal for New Brunswick.
Oh.
Did that have any effect at all in your race?
Well, I was really proud of his race, and I'm a bit envious because, you know, I wanted the gold too. I tried not to let the crowd get to me. I was really focused on my race, and I felt that before my race, I was ready to do it. I really thought I had it. Coming off the last wall, I think I didn't come off as well as I was hoping to, and I spent most of the last length catching up. That's why I think my 200 is going to be an awesome race, hopefully.
Just to summarize, a night that two of our swimmers will never forget. Tarek Raafat, gold in the 100-meter freestyle. Krista Burris, silver in the 100-meter breaststroke. At the Aquatic Centre, Paul Martin, Canada Summer Games coverage.
And we're looking for a big day at the pool tomorrow. Meanwhile, the New Brunswick ladies basketball team was ranked 5th heading into the Canada Games, but they never gave up on the idea of making the medal round. That objective is a step closer to reality tonight. The New Brunswick girls took a strong first half and held on to down the second-seeded squad representing Alberta. It was a close matchup all the way. The final score, New Brunswick 56 and Alberta 52. The Western team had trouble controlling the boards, something New Brunswick's Sue McMaster had no problems with. She always seemed to be in the thick of things and wound up with a team-high 18 points.
From the very beginning, just because we played so well, we lost a real close one last night. So I figured tonight everybody'd be psyched to play.
How about halftime? What were you thinking then?
Halftime, I thought the first 5 minutes of the second half would be crucial, like we'd have to come out and play. And we didn't. We sort of went to sleep, but we came back in the end.
I was pretty psyched. All I could think of was don't let them win, because I knew we had to win that game.
And at halftime, when you had the lead, how did you feel?
Pretty good, but I knew we had to come out strong second half because we had a whole second half to play.
Well, we knew we had to win to have a chance to get into the medal round, so we were all pretty psyched up and just thought, well, we got to do it. It's now or never.
What was the game plan?
To keep some pressure on them and work their guards, because that was their strong point, and we wanted to tire them out and try to make them substitute.
Early in the game, you got some big points from Sue McMaster inside. Didn't work in the second half. What happened?
I think they started double teaming her a lot more, and they played her a lot tougher than they played the rest of us. And the rest of us, the ball didn't fall quite as well.
What will you do against PEI?
Probably just try to run our game, play our game, run them, and try to run our fast break, and hope everything goes well.
Tomorrow, New Brunswick takes on Prince Edward Island, and a win would practically assure them of a spot in the medal round. Basketball playoffs begin on Friday. New Brunswick suffered their first loss in women's softball competition at the Games. New Brunswick met division rivals Alberta and were on the wrong end of a 1-0 score.
Are having a heat wave, 92 degrees and going nowhere but up. We're looking for a high of 98.
Okay, who's first?
The Irving team, always there with high performance, products, and service, invites you to join us in a salute to the athletes of the Jeux Canada Games. At Irving, we're proud to be a major sponsor of this great event. Irving, always there.
Well, New Brunswick did suffer their first loss on the softball diamond today. New Brunswick met up with division rival Alberta, and they lost 1-0. Alberta opened the scoring in the 5th inning. Beth Davies led off with a double off New Brunswick pitcher Jocelyne Richard. She moved to third on a sacrifice from Sharon Holobowicz and scored on this single by Jolene Anderson. New Brunswick's best chance had come earlier in the 3rd inning. Carol Cooper and Monique Legere had singles in the inning, but they couldn't get the run across. That is just, first of all, your general thoughts on tonight's game.
Well, it was a good game. I mean, the girl played very well. Alberta had the key hit at a good time, and we left so many runner on base, and we didn't have that key hit. So that's, with a tight game, it's always like that. The one that's got the break's going to win the game.
Okay, this is a tough question time for the coach. Not one bunt attempted in the game, and I thought there were a couple of opportunities you had to move runners over with a bunt. You didn't do it. Any reason why?
No, not really. Probably what happened is we got a couple of players that can only push the ball, and probably that's the one that was at home plate. That's why that we didn't intend to do it.
We're down a bit because we stranded too many runners on base. We weren't able to capitalize on our scoring chances, but we feel that it's better to lose now in the preliminary round than to lose our first game in the medal round, because then we're out of contention for a gold right away.
Okay, two things strategy-wise on tonight's game. Number one, I didn't seem to notice that you didn't try one bunt in the entire game to move runners over. Was there any particular reason for that? I
think the fact that we never got our first batter on base caused that, and we seemed to get our rallies going with 2 out, and so you never really had the chances to put the bunt down to advance the runner. That caused a problem. We never got the first runner on. That was our problem.
Second thing I noticed, the very strong pitcher we were facing tonight, a lot of our hitters are right down at the end of that bat. Any thought of maybe choking up, getting a little more bat control, and just trying to punch that ball?
I think our problem is today, as since first of the tournament, is we've been impatient at bat because we haven't been hitting, and we're trying too hard to get a base hit, and so we're not waiting on the ball. We're chasing rise balls, and you can't do that with pitchers like that.
New Brunswick lost its rugby game against Saskatchewan today by a score of 7-4. That now puts the team at 1-2 for the competition, effectively out of the medal rounds. Mary Travis reports.
It was clear almost from the start that New Brunswick's game was off. Early in the first half, New Brunswick had several opportunities deep in Saskatchewan's end to score, but the team couldn't get it across. And the team's only points in the whole game came from a try scored by 17-year-old Kelly VanBuskirk of St. John.
To be quite honest, I was sort of in a daze when I got back to center field. I really didn't realize that I had scored. The boys said I scored, but I forgot all about it during the game. I was happy that we had points, you know, as a team. So I wish we had 4 more.
Kelly takes his rugby seriously and counts himself lucky to be even playing.
I had a heart defect when I was born, and the doctor told my parents that I probably wouldn't live, let alone. He actually told my dad that I'd never play a sport, you know, like as physically demanding as, you know, rugby or boxing, something like that, that I'd probably have to stick with, you know, checkers or something. But, you know, I think the Lord has, you know, healed me. I don't mean that sarcastically, and I'm thankful for the chance to play.
The loss was a tough one for New Brunswick, and Coach David McPherson says much of it had to do with unpreparedness.
I don't know, it's mentally. After a game like last night where everything was clicking so well, and to come up and try and do a repeat performance, it's very difficult to do. And they seemed to play a little bit harder and wanted a little bit more, and we got frustrated and we couldn't get things to work.
It seemed that the passing was particularly difficult.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, what happened last night, it was phenomenal. And then today, the kids figured it would come very easily. But again, you have to work, and that's the thing about rugby. It's so unpredictable. You can win a few and you can lose a few.
New Brunswick's next game is against Ontario, the second highest ranked team in the competition. And realistically, New Brunswick is looking at a 5th or 6th place finish now. Mary Travis, CHSJ Summer Games coverage.
And we'll be back in a moment to take a look at today's soccer and lacrosse action.
Irving, always there. With the card that gives you instant purchasing power to Irving refined highest performance gasolines, diesel fuels, motor oil. There's one just right for your car or truck. Irving all-season radials, the 4-season tire. Irving leads the way with more products, stations, and people dedicated to serving you. Irving, always there.
Come on, boy. Come on.
In the universal search for great taste, it doesn't take a higher intelligence to figure out why one cola's changed and one cola's chosen. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
More exciting lacrosse action at the LBR tonight. It saw 2 closely ranked teams going neck and neck at each other, but in the end, Nova Scotia beat out New Brunswick. Final score was 12-10. CHSJ's Mike Preeney reports.
New Brunswick and Nova Scotia were ready to put on a good game for the standing room only crowds here at LBR. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick are ranked evenly, but both teams, after having a couple of days off, were ready to put on a great show.
New Brunswick's Tim Hunt scored the first goal of a very fast-paced, exciting game. Several minutes then passed before another goal was had. Nova Scotia's Mark Lynch shot that into the net, and after that, the two teams went at it 1-for-1. New Brunswick would score, Nova Scotia right there with one of their own. The two teams are used to each other. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick played a series of games this summer, and at the end came out tied. So they were both ranked very close, and either team had a big job ahead of them to take the game. New Brunswick's Andrew Steele says their similarities in the standings made for rough work.
Two are tied pretty close in any playoff you had this summer.
Yeah. We were very close, like we mostly go back and forth, like we have little tournaments down here and over in Nova Scotia, and we feel that, we still feel we can still get back at them maybe some other time, but right now we lost, and it's a big upset for us because we really were hoping to win that game, so we can get into the medal rounds, but now we have to force in and play a hard team like Quebec.
That will be a hard game, will it? Aren't they? They were ranked first at the last game.
Yeah, they are ranked, yes, because they won it last time Canada games. So we're just hoping we have a very hot game and get a lot of chances. Or else, if we lose that game, it's going to be goodbye medal.
What do you think could have caused the loss at this game? It was just neck and neck. It could have gone either way right at the end.
I feel like we had a lot of chances we should have scored, right? And we just never really got around to passing the ball as much as we thought we should have. And I think we could have hustled a little bit more. So I feel, Nova Scotia played one hell of a game, and we were just we should have picked that up.
In any case, the fans went wild, cheering, chanting, or just plain yelling. They were there to watch New Brunswick win, and saw otherwise.
The game was tight all the way to the end as Nova Scotia defeated New Brunswick 12-10. Nova Scotia's record is now 2-0 as they go against a slightly lower-ranked team, Manitoba. However, New Brunswick has a very hard game ahead of it as they go against Quebec, which is ranked first in the Summer Games. At LBR, Mike Preeney, CHSJ Summer Games coverage.
Well, a good crowd was on hand at the Canada Games Stadium tonight to watch New Brunswick's soccer team take on tournament favorites British Columbia. Kevin Babin was at the game.
Rankings previous to these games had this as the battle between the best and worst teams, as BC was ranked first and New Brunswick 10th. Although the New Brunswick squad had a well-earned 1-1 tie with Manitoba and an impressive 2-0 win over Nova Scotia, this was not going to be their night. BC in the white and blue outfits scored first and quickly made it 2-0 on this penalty shot. BC kept the pressure on, keeping New Brunswick bottled in their own end, and the pressure paid off as BC collected their third goal. That's the way the first half ended, with BC sporting a 3-0 lead. The second half was more of the same as BC went on to win 5-0. We asked Ian Carson, one of the co-captains of New Brunswick, if they were intimidated.
Not intimidated. I don't think we wanted to be too offensive right away and make mistakes. We were a little defensive to start with. That's why we were laying back.
Was there a lot of confidence in the dressing room before the game?
There was confidence because of last night's win and things. We didn't want to seem too psyched out by BC and not losing the Summer Games. We were confident, but not too apprehensive.
If you had to put your finger on one thing that went wrong tonight, what would it be?
The midfield was a little loose. They were quick. We just, I don't think we picked up quick enough on their quickness, turning with the ball, taking off for runs and things. And like I said, the midfield was a little loose to start with. We were trying a new little strategy, dropping off the offside midfielder. That was a little confusing to start with, but that came around a little better towards the end.
Thanks a lot for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
British Columbia was just too powerful for New Brunswick, as the score will indicate. New Brunswick remains with 3 points in their division. At the Canada Games Stadium, Kevin Babin, CHSJ's Summer Games coverage.
When we come back, we'll take a look at New Brunswick's biggest hope for a medal tomorrow.
This class is perhaps the greatest discovery of the 25th century.
A dwelling called the Split Level Ranch. Marvelous.
What's this, Professor?
Ah, a spherical object. These two hurled at each other with great velocity.
Professor, what's this? What is it?
I've no idea.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
The Irving team, always there with high performance, products, and service, invites you to join us in a salute to the athletes of the Jeux Canada Games. At Irving, we're proud to be a major sponsor of this great event. Irving, always there.
Well, New Brunswick does have a good shot at a medal in rowing tomorrow. Chris Flood and his partner, Wayne McFarland, going tomorrow. And the rowing events have attracted a lot of spectators at the wharf at the Kennebecasis Rowing and Canoe Club to watch the rowing events. Gail Norris spoke with one New Brunswick fan.
Well, I'm kind of interested in water sports, and I've never actually seen too much of rowing. When I was out yesterday with all the fog and rain, today was a nice day, so I come out this morning to see some more, that's all.
We have a beautiful day today. Have you been here for all of the races each day?
Well, just part of them, actually, just part of them. They start a little early in the morning here, you know.
Don't I know it. Did you expect New Brunswick to do so well?
Well, frankly, I didn't know what sort of a club they had here, but I was here yesterday, and I was told they have some real fine rowers, and they're showing it now in the championship, that's all. They're doing exceptionally well, am I not right?
You're absolutely right. Do you have anyone close to you in the race?
No, actually not. I'm just a down-to-earth spectator, that's all.
I also spoke with two New Brunswick rowers, Jennifer Jardine and Jane Phillips, who were not at all surprised with their success.
Yes, we did. At first, we were a little bit hesitant, you know, because, you know, we weren't building up that much, but these last 3 months have really been really tough, and we trained hard, and we really did expect to do this good, so it's been good.
Give us an average day, an idea of an average day's training.
Running 5 miles, weight training, sprints, rowing, what?
4 hours a day.
4 hours a day. Yeah, that's an average day, and usually we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're in bed about 10 o'clock. You know, we go the whole day.
Jane, how did you get started in rowing?
I started last summer, and I just went down one day with the YMCA, and I really liked it. And then I met Tanya Wilson-Holmes, she's on the rowing team, and she got me into it. She really psyched me up.
You've come a long way since last summer.
Yes, I have. Just, well, I raced one regatta last summer, and I raced about 5 this year. I guess, worked really hard to get up here.
It's easy to see we have ambitious and dedicated young ladies on our rowing team, and I know we can expect them to do well in the finals. For CHSJ's Canada Games coverage, this is Gail Norris.
Many famous Canadian athletes have been a part of the large crowds that descended on St. John for the Canada Games. People like Ken Reid, Diane Jones-Konahowski, and Hugh Fisher have been seen around town taking in the various events. And earlier this week at the Renforth Rowing Club, CHSJ's Paul Martin ran into another of Canada's finest.
My guest is Linda Taub, a gold medalist at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics in sport pistol. Linda, welcome to St. John, New Brunswick.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's great to be here. It's a beautiful city, beautiful weather, and beautiful organization. Fantastic.
I know you were talking earlier about the organization. You're pretty keyed up about that in comparison to what you've seen internationally. Even.
Yes, so for example, Los Angeles. I mean, you're really well organized here. You can tell from the way people are acting. They have tremendous confidence because they're really well organized. They've done it before. They rehearsed. They have everything nailed right down. It's very well done. You have a big team of volunteers, but it's worth it. It really pays off.
Overall, from what you've seen across Canada, do you think our organization is coming together more and in turn producing better results, better athletes?
Yes, I think so. Very definitely. You see, the Sport Canada system that we have is the best in the Western world. We are the envy of all the other countries in the Western world. We have a super system, but it doesn't mean to say it can't be improved, but we really got a good system, and they're bringing along our athletes right from junior levels right all the way through to just the pre-nationals such as this, Canada Games, and then the nationals and the international national teams. So, I mean, we really do have a system, and we just got to keep on building with it and improving it and polishing it, and we're going to keep on winning.
Now, Linda, you've got a gold medal around your neck. Tell me a little bit about the dedication that you and that most athletes would have to go through to win something like that.
Well, tremendous dedication, an awful lot of training. You're by yourself a lot. You have to keep at yourself to keep yourself at it. That is discipline, and it's not just physical discipline but mental discipline of doing it every day, of following your plan, setting a plan first of all, and then following the plan, setting your goals, readjusting your goals as you need to as you go along, and getting a good coach, then getting a better coach if you can, and keeping at it day in, day out, improving your mental set, using your mental tools, visualization, reading books on positive psychology and using it. International competition, of course, at my level, but getting into competition whenever you can, because, for example, a national matches is worth a year of practice. You know, it equals, 1 year practice kind of thing. It's tremendous, because you got to get that competition so you can compare what other people are doing, seeing what equipment they're using, seeing the techniques, talking to coaches from other places, and you just really benefit from a meet of this kind. And it's wonderful that we have the Canada Games, and in a sense it's a shame that we hold them over every 4 years, but on the other hand it's very good because people really build for it. It's a quadrennial just like the Olympics.
Well, two medals tonight for New Brunswick, both coming in the pool, gold and silver. Let's take a look now at the medal standings. Ontario continuing to dominate. They're way out in front. 41 gold medals, 27 silver, 16 bronze. Quebec 17, 25, and 26. Then comes BC. They've moved up ahead of Quebec, at least in the gold medal standings. 18 gold now, 18 silver, and 14 bronze. Alberta has moved ahead of Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, up until today, held that fourth spot down. Alberta now coming along strong. They are 8, 7, and 13. Nova Scotia 5, 11, and 11. Manitoba with 2 gold, 5 silver, and 5 bronze. Then we have Saskatchewan with 3 gold and 7 bronze. Then New Brunswick, there we are, 1 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. 2 bronze for Newfoundland, PEI, Northwest Territories, and the Yukon, still looking for their first medals. Harvey, I think we're going to get some more medals in the pool tomorrow, and certainly Friday. Tarek, I think, is going to win number 2 in the 50-meter freestyle.
Well, he certainly looks like he can't be beaten in the 50-meter freestyle. After that win tonight in the 100 meters, we can only expect maybe another gold medal winning performance on Friday. Tomorrow we have some more medals coming up in the pool, not only in the pool but in rowing as well. 6 rowing events tomorrow.
As I mentioned, Flood and McFarlane in the pairs, and they very much they're the national champions right now.
That's right. They won their heat. They shouldn't encounter a lot of difficulty in picking up a medal tomorrow, as well as the other fine rowers we've had from New Brunswick. They've done a great job with the rowing. Softball on Friday, a chance for another medal there, and basketball, the way they've been playing, a shot at a medal.
Well, the ladies unfortunately made it a little bit tougher on themselves by losing tonight to Alberta. That looks like right now they're going to have to play Ontario tomorrow night, probably in one semifinal, depending on what Alberta does, but they play Newfoundland tomorrow, should beat Newfoundland. That is our coverage for tonight. Reminder again, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, our maritime coverage with Dave White and Gary Murphy, and we'll be back again once again tomorrow night, a little bit later tomorrow night because of the football game. We'll be on at 12:45 in the morning following the late news with Glenn Johnson. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night.
The 1985 Canada Summer Games, a presentation of Irving Oil Limited and Maritime Beverages Limited.